Here comes a starship. Yes, you are looking at a starship going past you right now, and it's from a company called Xpeng in China. I know you're going to say, hey, it looks like a MPV. But no, it's a starship, and we're going to land it and come out and explain more to you in a few minutes. So you did see us driving past the cameraman earlier in this rakish design. Well, they call it a starship. I'm lost for words. They call it a starship. Well, maybe that's a marketing word that they prefer to use, but it's an MPV. But what kind of MPV? It's not a traditional MPV with that high roofline and flat back. You've got a 21-degree rakish front here and a 23 degrees rakish rear end. Do you know what this means? This means that this is an aerodynamic MPV, and being so aerodynamic, it's got a drag coefficient of 0.227, which is one of the best in the market and better than the Tesla Model Y. Can you imagine that? The Tesla Model Y, which is one of the most aerodynamic electric vehicles in the market, this big bad boy beats it. Imagine that. And look at its sheer size. Plus, they are calling it a starship. Now, I know a lot of you will say, oh, it's an MPV. Yes, it's an MPV. But what a great looking MPV. What a great design language. What an outlandish, I use the word outlandish, interpretation of a 7-seater. So, you got 5 meters of metal cabin space. And at the rear, you got almost 2 meters of width. This is a huge vehicle and able to take 7 passengers in absolute comfort. This is what the market is asking for. This is what Malaysians want, Asians want, people from China also want this, and also Europeans. The Europeans love big vehicles like this. We know it's big, we know it's wide. Maybe it's not so tall, you might say, but still, it's really easy to get in and sit in these absolutely comfortable captain seats. Amazing seating comfort for 2 in the middle row. Now, the third row has also got a lot of comfort, but let me talk about this middle row because this is going to be where most Xpeng owners will be sitting in. They and their better half, the driver in front, bodyguard in front. Because why? You are not going to be using this vehicle to drive it yourself most of the time. You want to be driven. And there's a reason why you want to be driven. Because you want privacy. So when you're sitting at the back and enjoying the comfort of this Xpeng MPV, what do you want? You want to be able to control the seats via electric power. Easy, comfortable. Also, you want to have somewhere to store your cold drinks. So there's a little fridge here. Now, this you might say, oh, the competitors have it. Yes, but it's still a fridge, and a proper fridge where you can adjust the temperature, how cold you want to get it. Aircon controls are here. And let me tell you this, when you're sitting at the back here, you want some entertainment. What you need to do is just press a button on the panel and a 21-inch TV screen opens up. Now, Mr. Cameraman, come and take a look at this TV screen. Now, this TV screen is not your ordinary TV screen. It's a nice flat screen, adjustable, with some angles on it. And it's very important for the angles because when I press 0 gravity for my seats, the screen adjusts accordingly. And I can adjust the angle. The front seats go in front.
The second row seats are entering 0 gravity mode.
That is, of course, Xpeng's voice assistant. And this is where you get to enjoy pure movie spectacular viewing. So you can choose what you want. All the apps are there. But if you're sitting in this position, most of the time you'll probably fall asleep because this is so comfortable. This is really, really comfortable. So if you want to get back up, the zero gravity seat will go back into its position, and you'll see the leg rest coming down as it moves along. It's nice and slow. The comfort level is nice and slow. It doesn't rush you. And you come up nicely. Now, there is also a place here to charge your handphone. A little compartment here to charge your handphone, making it easy for you to charge your handphone when you're on the go. There is also a spot here to store your handphone if you don't want to charge it. There's also a charging port here if you want to add a cable to it. So they've thought of everything. They've even thought about the fact that you might need a little table to maybe do some work or put some food here. Not that we need to do that, but some people want to do that. So you've got a lot of features at the back here. Maybe too many, maybe too comfortable to the point where you might actually start thinking, I want to live in this car. Because why? It is so comfortable. So, why I'm putting on my hat? Because I'm going to show you the rear seat, because I'm going to get out in the sun. But meanwhile, before I forget, I must highlight this feature. Now, there are 6,000 little holes around the cabin. Now, what are these holes for? These are aircon holes. So you can actually, if you run your fingers through it, you can actually feel the aircon coming in. It's almost like sitting in an aircraft cabin. You sit in an aircraft cabin. If you sit in a business class cabin, I've had a chance a couple of times. You don't have louvers or anything. You just have this air coming out, and that's what they've done here. And then it's got this wonderful material, wonderful premium material as a roof lining. So it's got that whole, first class cabin feel, with the screen, with the space, with the zero gravity seats. They've got it right. They've got this really, how do you say, whole luxury ambience. Now, we know how comfortable the middle row seat is. We know that already. Now let's get into the rear seat. How comfortable is the rear seat? So it's automated, making it easy. So if someone needs to get into a third row, not difficult. I'll show you how easy it is. I'm not exactly very agile, but still, not a problem. And once you're at the back here, you can adjust your seat, and it's powered. Right here, there's little buttons here to power it. For the headrest, for recline. So even the third row passenger is well looked after. And this is what you got to hand it to Xpeng. Because why? A lot of luxury MPV manufacturers often forget about third row passengers. Why they forget about third row passengers? Because they think, hey, the third row passenger is not someone important. It might be extended family or a housekeeper or someone who's just looking after the kids. But give them some comfort lah. And this is comfortable. I mean, I can sit at the back here and enjoy almost the same level of comfort that the middle row passenger will have. The only difference I don't have is I don't have something to raise my legs up. But there's nothing wrong in terms of sitting like this and enjoying a journey with the rest of the passengers. And I can still see that big screen, and I still got that whole cabin experience aircon vent delivery. I still got the skylight, and it's a nice place to be in. And this rear glass is still very far away from me. This rakish rear glass is still very far away from me. So if you're going to say, oh, it's going to get hot at the back, no, because I told you this vehicle is 5 meters long. There's a lot of space. So the roof ends past the edge of my head. So I don't feel the heat. Now, if I put my hand here, yeah, a little bit I can feel. But once I'm here, I don't feel anything. So this is very important to make sure third row passengers are given very good comfort. So I'm going to get out now. Oh, by the way, there's even a little port here to charge your phone. So rear passengers on both sides can charge their phones. Thank you, Xpeng. I'm going to get out now. So I get out. There's a button here to move the seats, and you can put it back where it's supposed to be. Okay, so now it's time for us to show you how easy it is to drive this large vehicle. And before we go into the driver's seat, just a little reminder, this is rear wheel steering. This MPV, because of its sheer size, has got rear wheel steering. So turning radius is very tight. You can't see it because I can't show it to you in the video, but it actually turns a few degrees to give you fantastic turning radius, almost like a normal sedan. So let's go for a drive. So in front of this Xpeng X9, the first thing that really impresses you is the way the dashboard is sitting lower than the driver's eyesight. So you get very good view out. Very important when you're driving a large vehicle. Plus you got this little, triangular glass areas here, which you can see a little bit on the side if you want to get into a tight parking spot. We'll talk about parking later. The very interesting feature. This rear view mirror can also become a screen. And why? Because when you have the TV screen down, it actually prevents you from seeing through the back. So it automatically becomes a camera system working with a screen. So you get very good clarity of vehicles behind you. I still prefer pure glass, pure mirror, but the feature is there in case the rear passengers have the TV screen down. So you're not getting any, bad view on the rear. Of course, you got a lot of sensors, so we don't have to talk about it. Now, also on the subject of the TV behind, this is a remote provided by Xpeng, which has a trackpad and some little features, some buttons, a side button here to activate it, which you can use to put the screen angle, for easy viewing. So it's better to have it actually at the rear, but we got it in front here. This is for them to use, the rear passengers to use when they want to enjoy the viewing experience. You've got two cup holders, nice big compartment here, two places to put your smartphone to charge very comfortably. Interesting to look at this. This is your aircon vents. Looks like a cheese grater, looks like a fruit grater. Your aircon vents are here. You control the vent direction using this touchscreen. It's so easy to get exactly where you want to go. Also there, one aircon vent, here another aircon vent. Large, very, 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 very nice cooling. Okay, so you can get your cooling exactly where you want to point it, all through the system. Now, speaking about the system, this has got everything, literally everything in it. If you're talking about apps, you got everything, your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Spotify, you got your YouTube, your TikTok, your Apple TV, Prime Video, Disney. It's got everything. It's ready for you to enjoy your whole experience in this vehicle. Plus, you got all the functions you need to run this vehicle efficiently. Now, if you go onto radio, you can pick your stations, and memorize them. But what is interesting is a feature. I mean, all the new fancy cars have it, but everything is there. Your vehicle health, your battery health, everything else is there. Your sound, your charging, discharging, intelligent imaging. But what I like is driver assistant. Hello, Xpeng. Hi, Xpeng.
Hello.
How are you?
Could you please say it in another way?
Okay.
I'm not sure I understood correctly.
Okay. Switch on radio. Hi, Xpeng.
I'm listening.
Switch on radio.
Okay.
Move from the stage into the boardroom.
and we straight away get BFM because that's my favorite station. Because I'm on cruise control every Wednesday from 8 o'clock. That's my weekly radio show. Please tune in to BFM 89.9. Every Wednesday, we have a live radio show talking about cars, car reviews, and everything else. So, okay, we got voice assistants working for us. Hi, Xpeng. Hi, Xpeng.
Hey there.
Can you fold the side view mirrors?
Side mirrors are already folded.
Look at that. She folded the side view mirrors. Hi, Xpeng.
Side mirrors are already folded.
Thank you. Hi, Xpeng.
Hey.
Unfold side view mirrors.
Side mirrors are unfolding.
Okay, I'm just showing you a couple of functions. There's a lot more other functions you can learn from this system. It's a Snapdragon chip. It's the latest chip. It's it's a computer. This whole car is a computer. But more importantly, this vehicle computer system is so advanced. There's a lot of things you can do. Now, I can go through everything and show it to you right now, but it's just, you know it already because if you've been watching a lot of our videos, these cars come with amazing features. But Xpeng has got one step above everybody else because they were a technology company before they were a vehicle company. So from a technology company in China doing very well, they've decided, hey, we're going to make cars, and they've done very well. This is not their first, this is not their second, this is not their third. They've done a few cars already. We've already seen the G6 in Malaysia, the SUV, selling very well. Now we've got this 9, which is a MPV. So let's take it for a drive. Let's see how it is behind the wheel, because with all this technology, can it drive as well as it takes care of its cabin passengers? So gear shifter is here, put it in drive. Cabin is very well insulated, like with most electric cars, but this one is a little bit better, I think, because I've been driving around for 3-4 days and it's really quiet on the inside. This is the dual motor version, 290,000 ringgit, dual motor, very fast, good power delivery. It's got air suspension. Imagine that, air suspension, which means you get a very comfortable ride for the driver and also for rear passengers. Importance. When you have a vehicle like this, priority is rear passenger comfort. That is why you got the TV, you got the zero gravity seats, and more. Steering wheel is a very unusual design. And I like the fact that they've put the logo a little bit to the left. Something, everybody has their logo in the center, but Xpeng said, hey, we push it a bit to the left. Some controls here for volume and everything else. So if I want to listen to my BFM show, I just put the volume up.
Let me ask you about that just before we go into the process.
Nice rotary knob. I'm not slowing down at the bumps because I want to give you a little bit of a impression of the suspension setup. It's very hard for me to explain clearly because you got to actually sit in one of these. So go to a showroom actually and take it out for a test drive, or just rear passenger test. Get the salesman to drive you and you sit in the back. Effortless delivery despite its large size. Now, I did mention earlier about the rear steer assist. Now, the rear steer assist is to help you go into tight corners because this is a large vehicle. So when you see something tight, like we're going to do a really tight turn here now in between these cars. Easily done. Easily put into position without any worry at all. So this is important because why? Even if you've got a chauffeur driving this around with you, he should be able to take in all the obstacles and traffic and narrow roads with ease. Now I live in Petaling Jaya, so the roads are quite narrow, and I was a little bit intimidated by its sheer size, going to parts of PJ Old Town and the older parts of section 11 and 12. But actually not too bad because of the rear steer, and with all the camera systems working for you, it's easy for you to find your way around without being too intimidated. A parking space is found. Please stop the vehicle if you need to park. So we stop the vehicle, we start auto park, and the car does it all by itself. A little bit weird because we're not used to this, but this is technology for you. It's adjusting and it's moving right into the spot by itself, as you can see, and it stops just in time. So you've seen a lot of the X9 from the inside and the front. Now let me show you the rear. Why the rear? Look at the light treatment. Smoked rear lights with the Xpeng name embedded inside. Slim, straightforward. I would have thought they would have given it a bit more wider light treatment because of the sheer size of the vehicle. But I think they are going for a very, unusual design. Because why? A lot of the larger MPVs seem to have a big light treatment. But that's not important. What is important is the sheer size of the luggage area. Now, Xpeng engineers have been very smart here. I'll tell you why very smart. Because a lot of MPVs this size have flat, high floors, which means when you put luggage in, it comes up to here. And then when it comes up to here, the driver can't see at the back. But here, you've got a sunken luggage area, which means I can actually fit 2 full-size suitcases here, standing up with duffel bags and whatever else in the rear. Then you've got
Not
this.
enough room to fold or restore the seats. Please move the second row seats forward and adjust the backrests upright.
Okay, so you've got voice activation telling you before you can use the powered buttons to do everything, she will assist you. Look at that. Just nice, clean. Which means if you're only going 4 passengers or 5 passengers, that means occupants or people in the car, you still have added space here. So they've thought of everything, made it powered, made it deeper, made it wider, plus voice activation to help you along. See, the headrests come up. Now all these are great little features which a lot of other MPVs in this class seem to be missing. So this is what Xpeng has delivered to the market in terms of additional luxury, you might say, premiumness, material, technology, added, comfort. Very important for MPV buyers right now because why? They're paying a lot of money. 300,000. This is just below 300,000. All-wheel drive. It's got almost 600 kilometers of driving range. Now, 600 kilometers of driving range right now is pretty good. Because why? You can actually go outstation without worrying too much about charging. So, Xpeng X9 luxury MPV in showrooms right now. Take it out for test drive. If you're not happy with anything we have said, please tell us no. If you think we can improve on our presentation, please let us know. If you think this is the MPV for you, go into a showroom, test drive it. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised how much tech, comfort, features, safety you're getting on a 290,000 ringgit vehicle.